brains. For God's sakes, get a hobby. Go ahead, Steve.
Excuse me. Yes.
Manual A, $5. We already understand chunks of reality with math and physics. Whether or not we are in a simulation doesn't matter. We just get better at prediction. Dude, that's it. That's the last one, and that's perfect. I agree with that.
Shut up and calculate. That's what they say. Shut up and calculate.
Shut up and learn math.
Yeah. Or go watch Game of Thrones.
Too. Yes, go watch Game of Thrones. Go back and watch all of our episodes that we haven't done. Go and listen to all of the What the If podcast episodes. Do something else. Yes.
If you really want to empty your brain, by the way, go find that movie, Bob and Ted and Carol and Alice, or it has a name like you were referring to, this quantum experiment thing. I believe Warren. Yeah, I think Warren Beatty's in it, and it's like swingers and mayhem.
That was the name of the movie that they named these people after in the experiment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think that movie will you can watch that and not have too much stress in your brain.
Fabulous. I'm writing that down right now.
Go to Blockbuster.
As if my Blockbuster. Oh man, I remember. Gosh, is it sad that I still remember when we had those movie? You had to be a member of the club, like the whatever store you went to. You had to have a membership card that was laminated, and it was awful. Or the punch card.
Talk about dropping in value.
Yeah, the punch cards. Maybe that's the simulation to see what happens after Blockbusters.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
That's why it's called Blockbuster.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Minecraft could have been called Blockbuster. I'm just saying.
That right there is a good idea. Where were you, sir? Where were you years ago?
I think Notch is doing okay.
That's true.
Yeah.
All right.
What the if?
Yes, please let everyone know about your podcast now, where they can find it, follow you on social media, all of that stuff. And the links also are in the description as well, so make sure you check those out. But Phil, final word to you.
Yes, well, a huge thanks from me and from Matt to both you guys for having us on again. Right back at you in terms of how awesome it is and how time flies. It's fantastic. So I love you guys, love your audience as well. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you want, another podcast. It's just audio. We don't have video yet or ever. But whattheif.com is our website. You can listen to all our episodes there. You can find, What the If is the podcast. You can find it in iTunes or your favorite Blockbuster or whatever podcatcher you are using. And if you happen to be interested, on Twitter, What the If Show. Follow us there. And if you're curious about what I do outside of this and sort of my documentary work, it's Phillip Shane, Phillip with one L, because that's all my parents could afford. Phillip Shane. I've been telling that joke for 40 years.
What is the real quick? What's the timeline on your documentary, and when is it gonna be available for people to check into?
It's going to be a while. I proposed I actually got to meet the guys, Rand and Robin Miller, and said, has anyone ever done a documentary on this? Because, to me, it's an amazing story. They said no, and I said, could I make one? And they're like, really? And I was like, yeah, really? You can let me? Yeah. And then they said, we're working on a secret new project. Would you want to film that? I was like, yeah. So I'm following what they are doing next. And by the way, they're each doing, they work together, but they also work independently. So each of them is doing fascinating work. And so I'm following it up. So it's at least 2 or 3 years. But I was at Mysterium, which is the annual Myst fan convention. It was in St. Louis this year. And I showed just to that audience, we shut down the internet. We shut, the secret screening of just some of the footage I've been doing. And so I hope to bring little stories and little drips and drabs out into the world to let the excitement build. Yeah.
It seems like everybody.
And by the way, I'll just put it out there.
Sure.
So, sorry, since I have the audience here with you, if you played Myst and if you loved Myst, I am collecting all kinds of stories, and eventually I'll be interviewing some.
You know what?
fans out there
I
in the
might
world.
play it again. I haven't played
Cool.
in many years. I mean, but you know what's funny? It's been so many years, but I still remember some of the cutscenes. I still remember some of the problems, right?
Yep.
And like the only one I remember I had to cheat on one. I think the music one. There was some music one that I couldn't figure out.
Me
But the
too.
other ones yeah, that was hard. But there was another game I'm going to recommend. I think it was called Rendezvous with Rama, and I think it was an Arthur C. Clarke novel.
That's right. Great
that
book.
game. There's a game that made it. That game was the most god-awful, difficult game in the history of games. There's no way anybody didn't finish that game without cheating because it made no sense. It had used cryptography. It used, symbology. Have you seen it? Check it out.
I played it.
It is. Oh, you have played, so you know what I'm talking about. Come on. Did you solve that game on your own?
No, it eventually, and I can't remember. I felt like it was a bug or something. Like it got to a certain point and you could not get beyond it.
Yeah, because it's so hard, it's impossible. There's no way you would have figured this shit out on your own. Yeah, exactly.
And I'm gonna say the book. I highly recommend the book. It is Rendezvous with Rama.
I read the book. I did read the book. Yeah, I've
so
also
the game
read
is a little disappointing.
I love those old classic sci-fi stories, man.
The most mind-bending
Luna's arch mistress,
or game that frustrated me the most that I played was Lemmings. God, when they built that ladder and would fall off. You never played Lemmings? This is an old computer game, horribly old. I remember playing it on an Apple Macintosh, black and white. There was two colors, light, dark, and dark, and that was it. But the Lemmings would you had to build ladders, these little things that would tick across your screen, and they would follow the path that you build for them. So you'd have to build ladders over the top of chunks of earth. As a kid,
that's cool.
I think that's the first time I ever cussed, actually. But
I think that they turned video games into movies. I think that's ready for a movie. That's ready for a comeback. Lemmings.
Oh, it missed its time long. It missed its time long ago.
Yeah.
Long ago.
And by the way, there's still a lot of stigma around that movie because when they made the Disney movie, they actually killed a lot of them in real life, and so there's still that stigma that is attached to it. Yeah, because lemons don't really jump off cliffs. They actually the producers they actually corralled them to do so, which is considered an ethical violation, and it is.
I heard that.
So
it's considered,
which is philosophy, by the way, ethics.
Okay, guys.
But the designer of the simulation noticed that and said,
Lemmings and Easter bunnies. We'll be back tomorrow with Dr. John Kroon, who will be continuing his presentation on the exoplanets in the solar system. We got an introduction to it last time, so we'll be seeing which actual planets are out there, what their atmospheres are like, what the conditions could be like, those kind of things. And we'll also be looking at the Drake equation a little bit to see what the probability that aliens are a thing. I had something else that I wanted to throw out there, but I completely forgot. Completely forgot what it was. So it must not have been that important.
After show.
Steve, remind me.
No.
There's the glitch. There's a glitch in the simulation right there.
There's a glitch in the Matrix. God doesn't remember. Okay, let's narrow it down. Did it have to do with an upcoming episode? Did it
Probably.
have to do with
I can't be certain.
Somebody else's channel?
Could be. I can't be certain of that either. Most likely.
I don't know.
I'll think about it and tweet it out. Make sure that you follow us on Twitter at NonSecShow. Your Twitter handle is it's the What the If Show, right?
At What the If Show, exactly. Mm-hmm.
Right. So make sure you follow them, and also you can start voting. Voting is continuing to happen for the Golden Nuns, which is going to be November the 25th. You are able to vote for your favorite YouTube content creators, the best animated video, video of the year. There are 7, I believe, categories, and then in the non sequitur episode versions where it's non sequitur specific, you can vote for your favorite episode, for your the best debate, the most notorious guest, your favorite educator guest, your favorite dumpster fire. We have the golden dumpster that we're going to be giving away. So that would be really cool. Go and vote, and we will take the top 4 in each category, and those will be the final ones that you vote for. Again, it's going to be November the 25th on a Sunday. So make sure you check out for that. Without further ado, as always, we will turn it over to Steve that gives his parting piece of wisdom to take us out. So, Steve, once again, please enlighten us.
DNA is not a code. Triangles don't exist. Colors don't exist. And Kyle is a glitch in the system.
But doubt is a virtue. Good night.
I hate him.
Non sequitur. Your facts are uncoordinated.